1 second, guys. Kind of effed up something. Just give me one second. We'll be live in 1 minute, of course. Dun 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 dun. Boom. We are waiting. We are waiting. I think it's coming on. All right, almost there. All right. Here we go, guys. Let me just turn this down a little bit. I got it all way out of whack. And we can go starting in a second. All right, let me just get this all set up here. Audio going. All right, it looks like we are ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and hit the intro and we'll get into it. And that's not the intro. God damn it. Dude, I try to mess with my stream deck and it whenever I do something technical and I say I'm pretty sure I don't need to test it because it will work, and it doesn't. Well, guess what, guys? It usually does not work. So I just have to go and add a channel back into my stream deck, which I removed because I didn't think that it was going to be a big deal, and apparently it is. So while I'm doing that, let me just do this. Bump, 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 bump. Hold on, almost there. All right, let's see here. Let me see if this works.
From the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker, we're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
Yeah, you know what? Stupid mistake. I went through everything, and it was a little button that must have accidentally pushed, but I pushed it, and now it's working after doing troubleshooting. Move fast, break stuff, as I like to say.
Indeed.
Hi, Rich.
Crumpy!
There's a delay on your end.
Yeah, huh?
You look like you're in a Hong Kong movie.
Me no think so.
All right, there. Maybe it's fixed itself. All right, and we have
Hey, guys.
Xander, also known as Kron, also known as I don't know.
I don't know. You had quite a few things for me at one point, but
Maybe the guy that's gonna. I don't know. I want to start out by thank you for coming on the show. If people don't know who you are the leader of Are We Cool Yet?
oh man, that joke just gets better as it ages. Yeah, I'm not even in there anymore. So
He sold.
You've been
it.
exiled?
yeah, leader in exile. Yeah, that'll really
sold
ruffle
it.
some feathers.
Yeah, that happens. There's Mr. Oxbig who's out there in the chat. No, the whole thing, Xander. You want to hear something funny?
Oh, always.
The
Especially on
leader of not the leader, but one of the spokespeople for the National Park Service, and he's been making the rounds talking about the remodeling of the Lincoln Memorial. His name is, and I am going to be totally honest with you,
I had to double check this because I thought the guy was effing with people, but this is actually his real name. His last name is Litterus, and his first name is Mike.
That's terrible. Why
Can
would
you
you do that?
imagine him going through school?
Yeah, seriously. You wouldn't even make it through grade school these days.
I thought it was some guy in TV messing around, like one of the guys working out there, but then he's been on multiple shows, and it turns out, yeah, he actually does work for the National Park Service as a spokesperson. I would have a screen name.
I mean,
or stage name.
That's you take the name, you run with it, but to become a spokesperson where you're gonna have to be on TV all the time too, that's just like a cherry on top.
Why don't you just
Yeah, he should just shorten it to Lit. Litterus is too long.
why don't you just say Michael Litterus? I don't go by Mike, I go by Michael.
Yeah, something. You could work with it. He's clearly doing it intentionally at this point.
Yeah.
So, Xander, did you like the thumbnail? Did you see the?
Oh, I like it. I dig it. How many are you making? Like, are you trying to arm Ukraine or like?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. Me in West Palm Beach. So I'm going to be working with them on the gun buyback and then sending the guns to Ukraine.
Perfect.
Like the Liberator during World War II, where they just dropped the single shot firearm that was used.
Was a 45, right?
Yeah, a 45. It's a junk, but I want one. But they dropped it over for occupied France and stuff like that for like the resistance, so they can shoot a Nazi and take their gun. I think what we need to be doing, whenever instead of like giving them guns, just airdropping 3D printers.
I thought you were going to say airdrop 3D printed Liberators, because I think that's why Cody named it the Liberator.
That is why he named it the Liberator.
Yeah.
But I think they should just drop 3D printed printers.
Just airdrop some Chinese Ender 3s over them and call
Ender
them
3s.
Yeah.
Yep. With some
morons.
So
I gotta say, let's see. We talked about this on Dark's channel last night. Xander saved my sanity because I was having problems. For whatever reason, I was printing this
again. Oh God.
Carbon fiber nylon without issue for a week, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't print right. And I tried 11 different ways to like dry my filament. Hold on, long reach. Oh. I went to Goodwill. I bought a $5 crock pot. I got a dehydrator. I was putting it in my toaster oven that's also a dehydrator, air fryer dehydrator. What else? I mean, I was trying like 11 different methods of dehydrating my filament, thinking it was the filament. And then the Xander's like, you got an enclosure? I'm like, no. He's like, put a contractor trash bag over it. I'm like, okay.
Does anybody buy like big things of like filament and vacuum seal them?
Yeah, I mean they come vacuum sealed.
Yeah, but when you use it and you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna use this for a while.
Well, like some of the good filament
space
comes
bag?
with a resealable bag.
A lot of them do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
I agree. There's got to be a better way. The problem I found is that even the ones that, I mean, it all comes zipped already, right? But I found that the stuff, even just pulling it straight out of the bag, has already absorbed moisture, either going through the manufacturing process or the spooling process or something. So I usually end up having to dry out, especially the nylon stuff, for at least 18, 24 hours before I hit print. Even just straight out the bag. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into what happened with you and I'm a journalist, so I have to ask with Aussie.
That's a very long and complicated story that goes back at least a year.
Well, we
could
got
probably write a book on it at this point. Long story, real short, is myself and all but one of the moderators decided we didn't really want it to be a not-for-profit tax shelter for somebody, and that didn't go over well. So, or got kicked out, or are in the process of getting kicked out. I don't know. It's all become quite messy.
Can we know who that is?
it wouldn't matter. Nobody's really heard of them outside of that space. So.
Oh, okay.
So let's see, I don't know who's in and out of Aussie. I think, let's see, I think Sabar Prince is an Aussie.
I haven't seen or heard from Sabar in weeks or months. I thought he died.
It was Vin an Aussie or no?
No, never.
Vin Win? No,
never was. No,
I talked to him one time about it. He said he didn't want to be.
Yeah, I don't think that he ever was. At any point, honestly, pretty much everybody that was there at the beginning is gone, and even some of the bigger names that came later have left or just decided to do their own thing. It's a bit of a mess, like I said.
Yeah, I talked to a couple guys who were talking about their issues.
So is Ivan the Troll an Aussie or
no? Ivan's never been an Aussie.
No, he's a DD2 guy. Okay. One of their founders, as far as I recall. I was in DD2 for a minute. Back years ago, 2-3 years ago now. It's all such a blur.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there should be any organized groups, but that's just me.
I'm pretty much there with you at this point. The groups had meaning once upon a time. Like, you used to have to join a group to get files, almost, right? Outside of like the giant FOSSCAD repo that never got updated, you really didn't see anything. And then Deterrence Dispensed. Wait, I always get these backwards. We're just going to call them Ghost.com, the Legio guys. They started posting files that anybody in the US could get. That changed the game, because then you could have like a central repo of files from all over the place. Didn't matter what group you belonged to, or if you belonged to a group, or, it just didn't matter, right? They would host anybody's files. And now we have a couple of different repos out there, including the Odyssey and Print 2A, that host just terabytes of these prints, right? So the need to join a group to get information and files is just gone, right? You have tons of YouTube channels. I mean, Rich does a lot of stuff himself. You got the Out of Battery crew. You got Mr. Snow Makes always doing. Thank you, Mr. Snow. I always get them backwards. Defense Distributed is the... I'm not even going to start into that, but yeah, Defense Distributed came out with their central repo. But you have all these centralized repos of files now that you don't really need to join a group to get information or to learn how to do this. So, yeah, it's a catalog. Which catalog is just a front for Odyssey. I mean, you click on catalog, it goes back to Odyssey. So,
yeah, I mean, do you think there's too much gatekeeping or too much attempted gatekeeping?
I always did. I think that there's a lot of people that want to be big fish in little ponds and try and keep... Sorry, I just read that.
I'm sure he did not get this.
I highly doubt he got deported. I just haven't seen or heard from him. Like, I know there was some drama and he got he just disappeared for a while. But yeah, no, I think that there's always been a lot of gatekeeping in the community. And I'm going to use air quotes around community, because it's really not much of a community anymore. It's really just a lot of high school-like cliques. But I think the more we get this more mainstreamed, start and drag more and more people into it, I think we'll see less of that.
I know I've seen a lot of mainstream people like following the cliques too. So,
well, so I'm bad. I got I'm like 90% there on a number of projects. So yeah, like the ARC 2 and the AUG. So I'm in the beta on the AUG, the beta on the ARC 2. I got all the parts. I just got to assemble the ARC. it's just sitting here waiting to get together. The AUG, I'm going to need barrels. So
yeah, that is the tricky sticky point for that one. But once you have barrels, you're in good shape. You got quite a few there ready to roll.
Yep.
But
yeah,
and now I feel stupid. I mean, it does look cool carbon fiber, but the only part that needs to be carbon fiber is like the stub that goes on the back here. But whatever.
Needs to be maybe, but that's like the ARC 2.0. The whole thing doesn't need to be nylon, but mine is, and it's like I think I'm up to 1,500 rounds on that one.
Oh, really?
Snow and I were beating the heck out of it one day for the camera. Got some slow-moing of it and everything else. We're just mag dumping through it.
Oh, cool.
And it's still holding up. But that's the original. That's my original beta print, actually. So it's released now. It's out there. Anybody can go and build one. But yeah, I highly recommend nylon. I wouldn't say you need it for the ARC 2.0, but it's definitely a nice to have for longevity purposes. The same thing with the AUG, right? You really only have to print that rear what would we
receiver
call that?
Portion.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only piece that needs to be nylon, but you're going to see a improved longevity and durability, obviously, if you do the whole thing.
You know what? You should join Team Uncool.
Do we have a Team Uncool? We should make a Team Uncool.
Why, Rich? Hold on.
Rich is ducking. He's hiding. Oh, you've got the whole banner.
Yeah, I gave it to him. Team Uncool.
I like it.
It's something that it's basically you can 3D print. You don't have to 3D print. You can be into whatever you want to be into, as long as you want to share information and knowledge.
Yeah, the old glider principle.
Yeah, you want to share information and knowledge. That's fine.
Yeah, and what I love about this getting more mainstream is that people are more just generally speaking about it. I remember for years, nobody even wanted to go on social media and talk about 3D printed guns. They were like, it was like taboo. You remember this, right, though, Rich? Like you
oh yeah.
Nope. If you had an Instagram account, they're like, oh, he's a Fed. Look at the Fed printing guns. Now I think we've got a pretty good outreach program on social media to try. Get the word out there. So,
what do you think about the proposed California law that will let that will basically give California permission from California, which is I don't understand how you could. I can give myself permission to sue devs.
I don't understand how that would ever hold up across state lines, or how they would even do that. I mean, there's a few lawsuits out there against devs already.
Yeah, but this is like going after the little guys.
I don't see how it would ever hold up.
I don't think it will hold up, but I think that's not the purpose of it. I think the purpose of it is to scare, intimidate, and
that'll work. Because let's be honest, a lot of folks are scared of Karen calling their boss and trying to get them fired. So if you start threatening people with actual lawsuits from the state of California, they will be scared. And that probably will curb a little bit of the enthusiasm.
So I'll tell you what, my last gig, people knew I had a YouTube channel. They knew what it was, and they saw what I was doing. And that became like the talk of the office. And I don't. So I think if you have a certain office culture, in other words, an office full of dicks, that could be trouble.
Hey, so I work on Facebook and like decided, just be open about it, and some people didn't like it, but whatever, it worked.
Yeah, I mean,
there was the culture at the office I used to work at was very like anything they could do is say, aha, they like, it's like, oh wow, did we change NTP servers, or like for this data center, are we using I told you that 3 years ago. It's like, fuck, just say yes or no. Just,
There was a guy who worked for Facebook, and he has a YouTube channel called Tech Lead. He was a scammer, but he claimed that he was fired from Facebook because he had a YouTube channel, and that's not the case. He was just a shitty developer.
Wait.
Well,
Yeah, I heard it was almost impossible to get fired from Facebook.
Well, dude, I tried. I went on the Facebook main page and posted hate speech doesn't exist to the whole
And
company.
they wouldn't fire you?
I don't know, get rid of them.
So I have never heard of anybody or know anybody personally that's ever been fired or even had any kind of HR action against them for, having a hobby outside of work.
No.
It might exist. They might be out there, but I've never met them or heard about them. But it is like when I talk to people, because a lot of folks there again, a lot of folks are on Twitter, on Instagram. And I'm like, the government can track you down in about 10 seconds if they feel like it, right? Like they have massive apparatus to track people down online if they really want to, right? I'm on a VPN and I'm accessing Twitter through a VPN. It's not really going to save you for more than about 10 seconds.
They track down people using VPNs through onion routers and the dark web and stuff, and they were able to freaking
Onion's
track
an old
people
U.S.
down.
Navy project, so that's not a surprise. But the point I was leading up to is when I talk to them all, they're like, yeah, we don't really care about the government finding out. I'm like, okay, so then what are you really trying to be anonymous about? And they're like, well, if somebody calls my school or calls my work, I could get fired. And I'm like, I don't know if it's ever happened. Or if we're at the point where they are really tracking down everybody that's printed a gun, we're probably a little past the point of no return, like that's a different world.
And you know what it is? It wasn't, it was the issue with my last gig and them knowing what I was doing wasn't, it was more like, oh, look, he's like in social media on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't what I was doing. It was that I had a presence. And I don't know if there was jealousy about it or whatever. I mean, hopefully they know I don't make any money doing this, but
does anybody make any money off YouTube anymore? Like, oh well, yeah.
Not, I mean, not much.
Anyhow,
anyway,
but
enough for coffee or something, which whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it keeps me in coffee for the month.
But
it might be close.
If you compare my hourly rate to what I make on YouTube,
that's what I said. My monthly haul on YouTube is about an hour's worth of my day gig. So all of the hours I put into YouTube, into John Crump Live, into it, and I'm not trying to say, oh, I work hard on John Crump Live, but doing the thumbnails, getting the guests on, whatever, those kinds of things. It takes a little bit of time, so it's just not the 4 hours a week we do the show.
And I will say that Rich has been donating his money to members of the community that I pay him.
Yeah,
seriously.
I might be a member of the community, so
no. I think that's really cool that okay, well, this guy needs money, so send him money. Send them.
Yeah, well,
this guy.
So here's the thing, and I, one thing, and John knows this, and I kind of outed John. Charity shouldn't be public. You shouldn't do things because you want props for it.
Right.
And
yeah, who said that, and who kind of turned that around, Rich?
So
I did something nice, and Richard was like, "Why don't you talk about it?" I was like, "I didn't do it to talk about it."
Right.
And like, I was like, he's like, "Well, let's talk about it." I was like, "I don't want to talk about it, Rich." And I was like, "Just leave it private." And like an hour later, Richard was like, "Guess what John did?"
Oh man.
Well, and you know what it is? Like, there's a lot of talk. So let me. For 8 years, I was like 180 grand in credit card debt. And like, it was just about a year ago that I got the job I have now. And pretty much I was able to almost completely pay off the debt that I had. And I sold the house in New York. So, John, whether John sends me a check or sends it to somebody else that needs it, it's better off going to somebody else that needs it. A year ago, like a year and a few weeks ago, yeah, I needed that money, So it's nice to be able to give back. It's definitely nice to be able to do something charitable. And I don't. I guess the one thing, the reason I think I outed John on that, because if people look at us and think you got a lot of money and whatever, and it's like, oh, look at you. Well, yeah, there are people with a lot of money also doing a stink load of good. Not me, but other
I
people.
don't have a lot of money. I wish I did.
And
they say the more money you make, the more amplified your personality is. So if you make a ton of money and you're an asshole, you're just gonna be a bigger asshole, right? But if you make a ton of money and you're a nice person, you're probably, or you're charitable, you're just gonna end up giving more money away.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I just realized, the three of us, we're all in the tech field. We're all tech geeks.
Big time. Yeah.
Which I guess goes hand in hand with 3D printing and all that bit.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit. You say that, but you look at some of the biggest names, and I don't want to call them out because I don't know if they're comfortable about being talked about, but some of the bigger names are
3D arms,
not
dentist.
Huh?
3D arms is a dentist.
Case in point, right? Like, and I know carpenters, I know plumbers, I know a printer from basically every walk of life. Like, it's not just the tech nerds that are getting into this. Like, I got a buddy that's doing construction. He's getting really big into it.
So I think back when pre-Ender 3, pre-Prusa, when it was like ANET A8s, and John bought a box.
The learning curve was steeper. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to be real geek, and this is what I've said to a lot of people. But the P1P, having a P1P is like being a savant about distributors, rotors, points, condensers, carburetors, and then all of a sudden everything went distributorless, coilover plug ignition system with multi-port fuel injection. It's like, you mean all the crap I labored over to learn is now worthless?
Basically, yeah.
I miss the old days when you had to call around like, hey, can you print me this? Because you aren't gonna get shit done until you got someone to print you parts.
Well, that's in the Voron community.
Yeah, I mean that's what I run as a Voron. I haven't bought into the P1P or Carbon X yet. I'm not a huge fan of closed source hardware or firmware, so I'm not sure I'll ever get there. But for the people that aren't very nerdy, that's a very much plug and play solution for them.
Oh yeah, and that's where I was going with that. I mean, like, hey, you're a carpenter and you don't know anything about anything. Boom, plug a P1P in, and you're going to be printing crap like this in no time.
Right. Yeah, and that's
zero learning curve.
I know. I actually have a project that might work for, Barton, which I'm not going to talk about because I want it to work first. But there might be a Wrath of Kron build coming if it does what it's supposed to.
There's going to be a Wrath of Kron project coming. It just depends on if that's going to be the Wrath of Kron.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I think we should do? I think we should get everyone in the 3D printing community, because so many people have problems with each other, lock them into a big dome-like cage and be like,
My dear podcaster.
2 men enter, 1 man leave. Like Thunderdome?
Yeah.
Thunderdome it. I'm down with it. Honestly, I thought about challenging a few people to show up at the Makers match and just having a not like shootout at each other, but like a time trial. Whoever wins.
I think it'd be kind of cool to have
actual bloodshed.
Dude, I mean, if we brought back dueling, the society would be a lot better. There'd be a lot less trolls on Twitter.
I mean, I did amateur MMA. I'm down to just jump in an octagon with somebody if they really want to go.
Yeah, so did I. Did you ever try in jiu-jitsu with anyone? Or
I did. I did Japanese jiu-jitsu. I didn't do Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I gotcha.
Didn't like the kicks.
What?
Isn't Brazilian jiu-jitsu all the spin kicks?
I don't.
That's
what?
capoeira.
That's capoeira. Yeah, that's. The dance.
Oh
fighting.
my god, that's not even close.
I was like, what kicks are you talking about?
That's like not even close.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like saying, oh, so
Snow and I were actually going to have a duel at some point. We just haven't made it happen. Get some single shot simunition rounds and go.
come on, man, be a man. Use royal rounds.
Fine, we'll do 22. No.
Jacketed hollow point 9mm.
That reminds me of the story that two guys in England, they bought what they thought was a bulletproof vest, and the one guy shot the other guy with a shotgun. It wasn't.
Well, you know about the
You only make that mistake once.
you guys know about the death with the 50 cal Desert Eagle, right? On YouTube.
No.
They were trying to.
Oh yeah,
this couple was trying to film a YouTube stunt. So the guy strapped the phone book to himself, and the wife took the Desert Eagle, put it point blank range, and pulled the trigger. And they thought the phone book was going to stop it.
No, not one.
Yeah, well, they had one.
15. No, where does it stop? Like 10 or 11? But I think that's for a 9mm, not a 50. So
yeah, this is a 50 AE.
Yeah, no, that's gonna
fake it. Just cut out the center and put some AR-500 steel in there.
Or test it before you actually try it.
Yeah,
I thought they tested. Yeah, I thought they tested and it worked on the first one. Yeah, there's like things. I'm most of the time my answer is full send. But yeah, when the risk on that is breathing in an hour, yeah, I'm probably not gonna say full send
for their like 100 subscriber YouTube channel.
100? No.
They thought this was going to be their big video that's going to blow up their channel.
Well, it blew up their channel.
No.
That's not how they meant.
No, the girlfriend or the wife, whatever, got charged with murder. She got convicted.
Okay.
Or manslaughter. Sorry.
Oh, well.
Originally it was murder, but then it was like downgraded to manslaughter.
That sucks.
Oh.
Got convicted of manslaughter.
Oh man, that is. I hope they didn't have kids. Oh, where's your mommy? She's in jail. Where's your daddy? He's dead. Mommy killed him.
Oh, I just figured we don't want that kind of people procreating, but
Well, that too. There's always that. We're like Crumpy and I were talking about. There's this guy that does like Instagram. I'm looking for my phones because I want to pull it up, but he asks people like in Times Square. It's like, and how many eggs in a dozen? The guy's like 5, 10.
Well, didn't one of the late night guys used to do that, man on the street?
Yeah,
a lot of people have done that.
Yeah,
Jimmy Kimmel was it? But Mark Dice was like.
The questions have gotten progressively worse. At one point, it was like, "Who's the Secretary of State?" Which was like, okay, maybe if you're not
Henry Kissinger isn't the right answer.
Okay, but now it's like, how many eggs are in a dozen? Like we've gone.
Dude. He had an analog clock and was asking people what time it was.
Oh God!
And it's like,
they have the same voting power you do.
Well, they asked someone like, when was the Civil War? And they're like, 1980.
All right.
How old's the country? 50 years old. Like what? No, but what? Like
50's old in their mind. That's why.
Like I said, like I told Rich, they probably asked like hundreds of people, and they get 3 downloads.
I'm just praying that 99 of the people gave like the right answer, turned around and walked away, and it's these 3 adults that hit the video.
Yeah, I would really hope so, but you never know, I guess, these days.
Don't crush my hopes, guys.
And come out and play. Next time I see you.
That's younger. That is younger than Rich, though. 50 years. You're older than 50, Rich.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm 3 years away from 50, so.
I'm not.
I'm like, boy, it's embarrassing. I think I'm talking to Zip, and it's like I'm his dad's age, you know.
Yeah, people look at me and they think that I'm
Is
younger.
that a Lucy, guys?
Uh-oh.
I think.
Did you guys just agree not to talk to mess with me?
No.
That's
I think you froze up there.
lagging hardcore. That's so slow internet, you know.
You look like you look like your resolution is like 180.
I think
180i.
I think the iguanas are chewing on his power lines.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I see it.
The iguana.
Yeah, they got iguanas down there.
Stephen Haman says next Turkish drinking game. Well, we got to get a next release, and we've done 20 of them, and we are up to 20 releases. So until we get something new, I don't think we're gonna have a Turkish drinking. Probably not in the next month. Maybe next month sometime. But I don't see it. I don't foresee it within the next week or so. Now it's just getting to the point where we're like back into the 2013s. Basically, the Turkish drinking. Do you know what the Turkish drinking game is?
No.
I get the releases. I've been getting releases of all these ATF documents, FOIA request of imports.
Okay.
And we started getting, and they started working their way backwards from the newest to oldest. And now we're like we're 20. Because they don't give it all one time. It's called a rolling release.
Right.
So they send it little bits at a time. We're 20 releases in, and we're back in like 2012ish. That's how we broke the story of the Glock carbine on the show.
I remember that, but I guess I didn't correlate it with the drinking game.
Yeah, because there's so many Turkish rifles that were coming in recently that it's like, okay, every time you see a Turkish Turkish rifle shotgun, Turkish shotgun, you take one drink. To see a Turkish bullpup shotgun, two drinks.
It actually works pretty good.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah.
So basically, we're scrolling through, and it's like Glock carbine barrels. What? Glock carbine parts? What the hell is this?
Is that from like the Glock AR-15 meme?
Yeah, it is the AR-15. They have an AR-15.
Yeah, I know, but was it ever actually released? Like, I never saw one in person. Like,
it's coming. I'll tell you that. 100%, it's coming. I thought it could be shot show.
Coming in late to a game.
What's that?
Talk about coming in late to the game.
No, it's probably going to be. I mean, I would say I don't see them. I don't see it waiting till next SHOT Show to release. So maybe NRA.
Does anybody really wait till SHOT Show these days? I mean,
not like they used to.
I mean, we have the 24/7 YouTube release system now, so like.
Not that they used to, but you do see a uptick around SHOT Show.
That's fair. Of course, that's also first quarter, so.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just surprised that it hasn't been released yet, but it's coming.
Yeah. Well, that'll be.
I think the original plan was to hit SHOT Show, and not really sure.
I remember seeing a picture of it, and I thought it was a meme. I thought it was just a joke, like early April Fool's Day or something. Because every year, I think somebody posts a picture of either a Glock AR or a Glock shotgun or something. It's like, oh yeah, Glock's doing something other than just pistols.
Yeah, the first picture was actually released by CRS Firearms.
The distributor?
No, Matt Hoover, the YouTuber.
Yeah.
The guy that was working on they were testing him for the British military, and the guy that was working on it for the British special SAS guys and stuff like that, he was working on it. He was a fan of CRS Firearms on YouTube, so he sent him a bunch of pictures.
That's funny. And he turned around and went, "Look what I got."
Yeah, and then I worked with him on it, and I contacted Glock, and Glock's like, confirmed that that those are real pictures, but we're not saying if we're going to release it or not.
That's funny. I'm waiting for them to come out and be like, yeah, we're releasing it, but we're going to make it Leo Mill only.
No, I don't think it's going to be Leo Mill only. From looking,
they're going to pull an FN on us and be like, or HK on us and be like, yeah, you guys can't have this.
No, there is a civilian version that's going to be coming to the market.
There you go. Well, that's something at least.
100% positive of that.
That's my only bone to pick with HK is they really hate civilians.
Oh yeah. But the Glock thing, I showed Rich and I showed Dark proof.
Well, so I'm at SHOT Show, and the Glock booth looked like it had a big empty spot that they might put something in a day or two. So I say, hey, where's the Glock AR? Where is it? They're like, what AR? I'm like, you have a warehouse full of them? And he's like, because at first he was just going to blow it off, like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I know you got a warehouse full of them. I'm like, and I named the state where it was.
I can give you the address of where it is.
Go knock on the door. It's like raiding Area 51, but raiding the Glock warehouse, for the Glock ARs.
So he said soon.
Okay. From a 3D printing perspective, I really just don't care. I'm going to be honest. Like from my world, like I'll just machine my own before I buy a Glock AR.
Where's my machine my own? Oh, here it is.
Hey, there you go. Look at you with the anodized too. That's a little bit trickier.
What do you mean? You just slap it in the machine, it works. What are you talking about?
You didn't have issues with the grounding? With the sensor?
Grounding? What grounding? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I had to use tape.
Well, that's what most people do, is some sort of like an aluminum tape.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I
guess we just use the no probe code. There is a code for like no probe.
No. I definitely probed. Actually, the only thing I had an issue with is I had to put electrical tape around here because it was grounding out. But the anodization, I mean, the probe hits, it cuts away the anodization. You can see that right there.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I've never been able to get it anodized.
Usually it errors out. It won't sense the probe correctly. Like that was a big deal for a long time. Maybe they fixed that. I don't know.
Well, it's funny. Who was I talking to? Bitplum, and he was having an issue.
Yeah, because most people had that issue.
Yeah, I had to use a special tape.
Yeah, you have to use conductive tape to make sure that it grounds properly when it senses, like for the probe.
Yeah, so Bitplum, he ended up having grounding issues. But once he solved his grounding issues, it wasn't the coding, the anodization that was the issue.
Okay.
It was just the ground wire not making good contact. I mean, the only thing I did, I scratched up the threaded area in here because that is grounded. I mean, that's coded, and that won't ground properly. So that's a big deal. So the grip bolt in there, getting that some of that surface off, and then it works.
I guess I'll have to buy some.
But you can see right here, you see it just scratched it. And let's see.
Yeah,
I guess when it scratches it cuts the anodized off a little bit, just enough that it triggers the.
Well, I mean, what I would say is, definitely test the probe. I mean, when you plug it in, put an alligator clip on the bit and maybe scratch, the surface right here and just make sure your alligator clip gets a good contact, that the LED changes color when you hit.
Yeah, I'll just stick tape on it.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just used the aluminum or the foil tape or whatever it was. Got a whole
network. He has tons of network issues. He's a programmer.
Well, I have a high-end router. I don't know what's going on with it. I've got the Asus
custom firmware that's crap, man.
No. I'm not running custom firmware on the router. On the access points, I'm running custom firmware.
Okay, well there you go.
I'm not at an access point. I'm direct.
No, okay.
straight to the mothership.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If it was one of the APs around my house, so my house has steel studs, so it's like Faraday cage to 5 gigahertz. I can only run 2.4 gigahertz in the house. But I have multiple access points. The truss work is all wood, and so I'll have access points up in the ceiling.
What do you think about Xfinity trying to claim that they have 10G because what they do?
I was like, oh, their marketing department. God bless their hearts.
So I'm pretty convinced that 5G is just a ruse to get better tracking data from people hitting all the cell towers, because you need a 5G cell tower every 10 feet for it to be effective.
Yeah.
I think it's just to track us better. I don't think it actually does anything else.
Yeah,
right?
Might be. Dude. I'm gonna say this nicely. If you're out there and you believe that 5G causes COVID,
no, that's
all right.
not on my hit
all
list
right. So
of conspiracies.
I'm not going to name names, but somebody came to me and said they're at a meeting and they turned on their, I guess, iPhone, and they said, everybody that's vaccinated, it's a Bluetooth chip and you can see it. And when they're at a meeting and they're seeing all the Bluetooth IDs on their phone, I'm like,
yeah,
first,
do they understand how tech? Oh my God!
Freak out because it's funny.
I'm like,
technology.
There's no grain of rice size Bluetooth transceiver with nuclear powered.
It would have to be less than a grain of rice size.
Okay, hold on. Barton Fink has the answer. 5G does not cause COVID, but it does turn the frogs gay.
Might be actually. Alex Jones was right about that.
Yeah, to a degree, I guess.
He was talking about actually does
yeah. That. Well, that wasn't 5G though. That was the chemicals.
No, that was a chemical he was talking about. Everyone was making fun of him, and it's like, actually does.
Yeah, it's like you got
the fish people story,
right jar,
Yeah, the fish people story that Alex Jones tells, I'm pretty sure that isn't real.
Interdimensional demons.
I'm not sure on that one.
I remember when InfoWars tried to hire me. They're like, I'm like, yeah, I'm not ready for you guys.
Who tried to? Wait! Don't tell me you talked to Alex Jones.
Yeah, I talked to Alex Jones.
You talked to?
This was a few years ago.
Oh my gosh!
This is before I even got into YouTube stuff.
Oh, that's too funny.
We'd love to have you right. We'd love to have you right over here for us. We're doing really big things.
That's awesome.
It's like, you guys read about interdimensional demons. Come on, man.
So newsflash. I'm surprised, John, you didn't lead with this.
Nights. Yeah, get the hell out. Finally got a good-looking man on John Crumple Hive.
Woo! Woof! And if you want Xander's phone number, I'll for $10, Polar Nights, I'll send it to you.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You're gonna get some guy in Norway who's married.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden did not fall down the stairs of Air Force One.
He fell up the stairs, though.
But he fell up the stairs again. Yeah. But it was windy. Mind you, the last time he fell up the stairs 3 times, I forget what airport it was, but being a pilot, not that this is unique knowledge, but being a pilot, I know where to find the winds in the historical wind data. If he fell over in a 7-knot gust, we got a lot to worry about.
No, I know how to do that too, and it's just by watching the people's clothes standing there.
GMB, in this case, it was a chemical. I'll get you the chemical name. Turn frogs gay.
Well, Dark always says it's the fluoride, so I'm going to go with what Dark says.
No,
I don't know. They've been putting that in the water in Florida forever.
What, you got city water? Don't tell me you're drinking that city water, Xander. Please tell me you're not drinking that city water.
No, of course not. I drink straight out of the hose.
It's
wait, how do you spell that?
What?
No, never mind.
This is some Duke.
One thing that's kind of cool, while John's looking it up, that did come out of SHOT Show this year was the Avidity PD10, and what I like about it is that they're coming out with kits right out the bat from the manufacturer, as a manufacturer, which is pretty cool.
So wait, tell us what that is, because I don't think everybody knows.
Oh, okay. So the Avidity PD10, it's single stack 9mm carry size pistol, right? I don't have the whole sales pitch because I don't, I'm not on the sales team. But one thing that is really cool about it, from my perspective as somebody that likes to just build stuff rather than buy stuff, is that the manufacturer themselves is going to come out with kits that allows you to 3D print the lower,
the grip,
right? The receiver, so to speak. Yeah.
So is it a modular, or is it Glock-like, or more modular, like
I would say more Glock-like. Yeah, more Glock-like. It's not a drop-in FCG.
Okay.
So it would be the registered piece that you're printing, which is also very cool. I would like to see more manufacturers get behind that.
It's atrazine.
Bless you.
Atrazine. It's a pesticide that it has a reaction with African frogs.
Okay.
But there you go.
Chemicals don't do bad things. That's what we've learned from Ohio.
And Pete Buttigieg's there on the ground drinking the water from the stream, so we know it's okay.
Right. It can't turn him gay again.
It turns 10%. So there you go.
Well, that's more than one frog, so frogs plural. I think Alex Jones was correct on that.
It does something with the endocrine receptors and stuff like that. I don't know.
What a time to have Mythbusters canceled, like.
Yeah.
If we ever needed it, it would be now.
So the funny thing about Mythbusters is when it started out, there was commentary about it because it's two guys from San Francisco, and the assumption was that they were not straight men.
They're both straight. Jamie's married, and Adam,
I think they're both married, aren't they?
Adam had a long-term girlfriend.
Yeah, not that I really care.
I don't know if he's married now, but Jamie definitely married. I know Adam had a long-term girlfriend.
So
you met her while they were doing Mythbusters.
I got kicked off Adam's Twitter because he was speaking at an income inequality rally, and I said, well, why don't you donate your money?
That'll do it. Oh yeah, so ADXR brings up a good point. I've been making competition frames because that's what I do now. Is I call it FUD outreach. I go to multi-gun matches and I compete with only DIY firearms, and that's been going great.
And kick their ass.
It's actually a lot of fun. Not every time, because I'm not gonna lie, I had some hiccups, especially at the beginning. I learned real quick what models work really well printed and what don't, or DIY and what don't. I also found out there's a lot of stuff that really goes into making a precision firearm that isn't just like slapping the thing together, right? But that being said, I took all of that from the last year and I kind of rounded it out into my 17 long build, and I absolutely love that thing. It's been performing wonderfully so far. I got another one this weekend, but what I really love about it is the reaction I get from the other people in my squad, especially when I pull out like an ARC or something like that. Like I've been competing with the ARC 2.0 a couple of times. I did a Ghost Gunner Zero lower last time. But whenever I pull out whatever it is, like the printed Evo, everybody's like, is that thing printed? Like, yeah. And they all like, think it's going to explode or something. And then you run all day with it. Performs wonderfully most of the time. And I get a lot of good reactions from the more normie crowd. So that's been fun. That's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what? Have you guys seen the Christy Mack?
Yeah, I helped with that a little bit. I'm on that dev team,
I know.
so to speak.
That's why I brought it up.
So basically, it's a Mac in a Chris Vector looking chassis.
Honestly, I don't even like calling it a Mac build. It uses a Mac bolt and barrel, but basically everything else is DIY or printed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think it's one of the sexiest looking.
It looks fantastic. Right?
Oh, it looks fantastic, and I just think 1776 does killer video releases.
Oh God,
I love that
the production
stuff.
team is awesome. Like you can't even, and for the people following along at home, you have an overarching kind of story being told throughout all of those release trailers too, if you pay attention.
So, come out in PLA. Is that the chick that War Machine beat up?
What?
Oh my God! Hold on. Hold on.
Somebody says yes.
Ron says yes. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. There was this former MMA fighter, John Copenhaver or Haver, Copenhaver, who went by War Machine. He actually legally changed his name to War Machine, and he was dating a porn star named Christy Mack, and he almost beat her to death.
Well, there you go.
Holy crap!
See, when you said War Machine, I immediately went Marvel because that's just how we.
See, I was thinking, what was that like on TV? Where were they? The Gladiators? Oh yeah, that was the Gladiators. American Gladiators.
Oh yeah.
I figured it was a character from that.
Dude.
Random Mexico.
Really?
PLA said yes. I trust him.
And he got sentenced to life in prison. Where he tried to kill him.
Oh, dang!
Oh, let me bring up the pictures. Where you guys haven't seen this. You guys got to see this.
My celeb news is pretty low on my priority list most of the time. So, damn.
Oh,
that sucks.
She almost died, man.
Oh,
so they got him for like attempted murder. Stephen Harmon says, if you need to show Alex Jones 1776 for Rise Again interview clip with Pierre Morton. Yeah, that is a freaking fantastic clip. Oh, 1776. Oh my God, that's great. Tell us Pierce Morgan and Alex Jones. I'm gonna let you guys look that up.
Cool. My wife, she's the one like, oh well, Alex Jones said this. I'm like, fish people, Terry. Fish people.
Interdimensional demons.
I have people all the time telling me about the royal family or what somebody's doing. I'm like, I really don't care. And I never
no, you can't pay me to care.
Yeah. It's not gonna happen.
You signed a contract with the government.
Of course, my brother and I had a running joke that the Queen was dead back in like May.
Oh.
Well, there's all sorts of jokes that there's all sorts of conspiracy theories where this person's actually dead, this person's not.
Well, if they're supposed to be dead, then they're not dead. But if they're supposedly alive, then they're definitely dead. It's like Schrodinger's dead person. Yeah. Like Tupac, definitely alive because we know he's dead, right? But
Pagoda.
I saw a really interesting hologram that I think can only be produced if he was actually alive in something.
So have you been to the Hall of Presidents at Disney?
I mean, when I was a kid.
The Joe Biden mechanical or what automaton or whatever at the Hall of Presidents looks more lifelike than Joe.
I believe that. I'm surprised they didn't just put Obama in that space again because
No, there's a hand from Obama going up. Never mind.
You want to see something really scary? I showed Rich a filter, the Elon Musk filter.
What?
There's a Elon Musk filter where it's like
it maps your face.
it maps your
and
face.
looks like Elon Musk is talking.
And it
Well, I've been
maps
playing
your
with
and it maps
a
your
lot of
face
these AIs for work, right?
too.
Just to try and evaluate what they can actually do from a code standpoint and a few other things.
Ooh,
It's been
dude,
fun.
No, AIs can't code. AIs don't use AIs to code.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. You definitely won't get Rich fired. But yeah, no, it's terrifying because once you go down that rabbit hole, you start messing with the AI and the voice stuff, and you're like, what? Like they're getting pretty good at it.
Yeah, the voice stuff is scary. Once you merge that with the facial mapping,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's always a lag time of about 10 years from what the government has to what we have. So now that we all know this works, we have to go back about 10 years and decide what we were looking at was real or not.
So you mean they have an AI falling down the stairs now instead of Joe Biden?
Well, that was one of the biggest problems with the original Boston's robotics thing was that it couldn't do stairs very well, if you remember correctly.
Oh, it can do stairs now.
Now it can, yeah.
Who's the company that does the fakes on that?
Oh, with like the guns and stuff?
Oh,
yes.
That was really funny. Because I remember a lot of people thought that was real. And I'm like,
no, it's not real. It's definitely not real. People were like,
they did motion capture. So it was a dude. It wasn't a robot. And they just did motion capture and they, put the robot in. They 3D rendered it.
They're not giving them guns yet. We'll give that another week or two, probably.
What I think is awesome is what you can say what you want about Disney, but John Favreau and Dave Filoni are, they're.
I try and pretend they're not Disney. That's what I do.
Yeah, they're really into getting it right. In The Mandalorian and the season 2, they did Luke Skywalker, and some dude on YouTube was like, "I can do it better." So he used his home computer and he redid it with his modeling. They're like, damn, that's really good. Hey, you want a job? And hired him to do Luke Skywalker on the next during the
Young Luke.
The book of during the book of Bubba is the guy that did it on YouTube, and they reached out to him and said, we want to offer you a job. We agree.
That's mad skills.
Well, yeah, and that reminds me of the old days when we used to do that with InfoSec, right? If you hack something bad enough, they'd be like, hey, listen, you can go to jail or you can come work for us.
That doesn't happen anymore.
They don't do that anymore. Now
they just throw you in jail.
Right. Now we're post Patriot Act now. Now you just go to Gitmo. But but I remember those days. That was a better time.
Yeah, it was a lot better times. I remember going to 2600 meetings.
Oh man, I never did that. I worked a couple blocks away from there.
You would have the feds.
Guess who's the Fed?
No, you actually had the feds there taking pictures.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I have been places where the feds have been walking around taking pictures of license plates. So.
Yeah, well, in the DC area, the meetings were held at Pentagon City Mall.
Oh yeah, well they were at I think it was the Chase Bank by the phones at the Citibank building, the Citicorp building or so. Somewhere by the phones in the lobby of the Citicorp building. I used to have lunch at the Citicorp building every day.
You know what? I just thought of something. I think Biden is an old version of the Boston Dynamics robots.
That was what I was hinting at. Yeah. That was
so he can't do stairs? Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Oh man, I'm slow. Whoa, I missed that one.
You know who owns Boston Dynamics, right?
I thought it was Google.
Alphabet, yeah. Which is owned the parent company of Google.
Yeah. Well, I think my favorite thing to come out of the DoD space in the last month or two was when the team was doing all that AI robotics crap and some Marines beat it with a cardboard box, doing straight up Bugs Bunny level evasion tactics. Did you guys see this? Where they were
No.
They were testing a robotic some sort of robotic defense system with an AI. So these Marines took a box that they could stand in and just kind of shuffled up to it in the box, and it never recognized them as a human. So they evaded.
Adapted, overcome.
No, seriously, but they were doing literally like Bugs Bunny level stuff to get over it, or to get around this AI. They were using.
I mean, I have a Google Coral, hardware accelerated AI on the 11 cams I have watching around, watching for cars and people and notifying me on that. But yeah, you if you threw a box over you and walked up, my AI wouldn't alert me. It wouldn't. You probably have a better chance of getting caught wearing a ghillie suit than if you were in a refrigerator box.
Yeah, well, I'm sure DARPA took that information and now it identifies boxes as humans.
Well, realistically, you want to identify anything that has a volume that could contain a human.
Well,
here how DARPA works, they probably commissioned a multi-million-dollar study to determine what boxes humans could fit into, so that they could make a better AI around just that information. And that'll take another 5 years.
My favorite AI is from Carbon Filter. Or not Carbon Filter, Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon was a great show. Season 2 kind of fell on its face a little bit, but season 1 was amazing. But yeah, the Poe.
The hotel?
Yeah, the Poe.
You're now checked in. The gun.
Yeah.
You're now
definitely top 10 for sure.
Yeah, I didn't like the second season. The first one was really good though.
Season 2 kind of fell on its face, but season 1 was amazing.
Yeah, I did the audiobooks and then I watched it.
Well, you can't do that because the book is always better than whatever they try and adapt.
Yep.
I will say, with the possible exception of the new Dune did a pretty good job in my.
Really? I didn't watch that at all.
I enjoyed it. The fact that they split it up into 2 movies helped.
Oh, by the way, you guys go watch The Menu.
The Menu? Oh, yeah, I have that somewhere in a queue to watch, but I haven't gotten to it
yet. You would like it.
Yeah. I heard good things. Let me try and find that again because I think I had that queued up to watch sometime this week.
The Menu is the name of it?
Yeah.
It's a comedy, thriller, horror.
Checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Drama. It's like they couldn't decide on a genre to do, so they just decided to do everyone.
Just do all of them.
And it actually pulled it off. You don't know what The Menu is?
No.
All these rich people go to this fancy restaurant on an
and it's
island.
The people on the menu.
No,
that's Soylent Green. That's a whole nother thing.
No, the rich people go on the island and it's hard to explain. To tell you the plot.
You just need to watch it.
The plot and
All right, so is Bruce Campbell in the what was the other movie you're talking about? Not The Menu.
What?
Here's The Menu. I'll show you The Menu.
Oh, are we going to get demonetized now?
Probably.
Jeez, crap.
Fit everyone?
Easily. 12 customers total.
What are they trying to profit?
$12.50 a head, that's how.
What are we eating, a Rolex?
It's one of his classics.
I'm going to just pause it every 10 seconds.
Just break it up.
Yeah. Okay, they're eating something.
You have to try the mouthfeel of the mignonette.
Please don't say mouthful.
Tonight will be madness.
Welcome. We'll endeavor to make your evening as pleasant as possible.
Yeah, I try not to eat.
Welcome to Hawthorne.
Here we are family.
Hawthorne is this really, really fancy restaurant that costs a lot of money to eat at, and it's on an island where there's no cell phone service or anything else like that.
We harvest, we ferment, we gel.
They gel.
We gel.
He's not just a chef, he's a storyteller. The game is trying to guess what the overarching theme of the entire meal is going to be. You won't know till the end.
Who are you?
I am Margot. Why do you care?
I have to know if you're with us or with them. This menu,
The pictures, they're of us.
this guest list.
How do they get these? It's not good.
This entire evening.
Jesus Christ.
This is just theater. It's stagecraft.
We're leaving now. Has been painstakingly planned.
This is real, isn't it?
What the hell is going on?
We now offer you a 45-second head start. Okay, 45 seconds starts now. This is what you're paying for.
Get out of my way.
It's all part of the menu.
It's okay.
No, we're gonna die today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
You told them it was my birthday? Seemed funny about 3 hours ago.
Because
Yeah,
we've
it's
all done
actually
that
a
at
really
one
good
point or
movie.
another, right? Like,
It's a really good movie. John Leguizamo does a great job in there as the jaded actor. The girl that plays Margot is really good. The chef is incredible.
didn't he play Voldemort too?
Maybe I've never. Oh, actually, I did see Harry Potter with a girl that I was a friend with, but that was the last time I saw Harry Potter.
That was really cryptic and vague. We'll take it.
No, it's just it wasn't a girlfriend. It was a like one of my like really close friends from the past she was a big Harry Potter fan. We were in high school together, college together, elementary school, middle school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she's still a really close friend, but contrary to rumors that was always out there and popular belief, we were more like a brother and sister type relationship.
Okay.
Then it was always strictly plutonic. So yeah. Yeah, got a wedding. She's married with kids, and yeah, great person.
Okay. We're not
Yeah.
going to ask any questions. We're
Got a
just gonna-
master's from Georgetown and is a stay-at-home mom.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, we've been on for like almost an hour and a half. Well, we went way over.
Well, it's always fun with you guys, you know.
Yeah, it is definitely. What the hell is
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Gunmakers match. We'll have to have another chat about that as it gets
When is that coming up?
Oh,
in April.
Donald Trump is now saying if he gets elected, he will sign concealed carry reciprocity.
Yeah, I don't care. I want the NFA gone.
I want all gun laws gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with the NFA.
If Trump was from Alabama, that brother and sister comment with. Wow.
That's funny.
Well, I am only about 45 minutes away from the West Virginia border, so.
Yeah.
ATF gone too. Yep. ATF needs to go. They need to go now.
Yeah, that's an organization that shouldn't even exist, but throw them in with the IRS.
IRS, ATF, DEA,
DOE.
the DOE.
Okay, yeah, we could throw DOE in there.
Department
sure.
of Education.
Oh, I was thinking energy for some reason, and I was like, all right, it's a weird one, but sure.
I know that I saw what you did, so I was like, that's why I said Department of Education, just so you know.
Yeah, I was
like, maybe
I went straight to energy because we've been talking about all these infrastructure issues as of late, and how these major power stations just probably will never come back up if they ever go down, because they can't jumpstart themselves, right? They have to be jump started from another power station, a substation that's mostly coal burning and ancient. So if you lose one of these major stations, there's a very good chance it probably won't start up again, at least not immediately. Anyway,
Well, I think they should make these perpetual motion machines that I saw on the internet.
Mhm.
You can get them from Wish.com, and they were really cheap.
The cube things?
No, like these things from Wish.com that I was doing some research on a article that I'm writing, and somehow it kept on saying, "Here's a perpetual motion machine that breaks all laws of thermodynamics," but yet it's on Wish for $4.95.
I mean, I don't know about perpetual, but you can definitely run a generator off of water now, so that's cool.
Now, these are things like, oh, once you start it up, you never have to worry about energy again because it produces.
Oh, it's actually supposed to generate electricity too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For $4.95.
$4.95.
The battery market hates this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it never runs out of energy.
Dang.
Or
gotta get one for my airplane.
Yeah.
Put it on the front. It can be the rotor. Perpetual rotor, you know.
Mhm.
Wait, that wouldn't end well.
Yeah, but no, I saw on Wish. I was like, God, do people really buy this thinking that it's gonna work?
Till the battery in it runs out.
Yeah. Can you guys get 18H? 18H?
I know what that is.
You can get 18H. What's 18H? Oh, he's talking. They're talking on the. All right, there you go. All right. Go nuclear. And with that, we are done. I'm a big proponent of nuclear energy, just to let you know. I think nuclear energy is awesome. And people talk about nuclear waste, but if you look at the amount of nuclear waste that we have generated since the beginning of nuclear power, it's like it can like fit in like 1 acre. Less than 1 acre, actually. I think it's like a third of an acre or something like that.
Well, it depends on how much you burn beforehand. But yeah.
But yeah, it's not much at all. You know, people have this like Scooby-Doo understanding of nuclear waste where it's like giant tubs of green lava flowing everywhere. No.
Nope. And it can be safely stored. We have enough space to store like 1,000 years worth of nuclear waste in the Yucatan Mountains, whatever it is.
Abandoned salt mine.
Basically, yeah, that is what it is. I guess you already knew that. He knew that.
I almost was a nuclear physicist.
Okay. That's a story for another time.
How were you almost a nuclear physicist?
I almost joined the Navy to run reactors.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh. I was like, you went to community college.
Really, my plan was to go to the Navy and learn how to run nuclear reactors so I could run the Shoreham nuclear reactor on Long Island.
Okay. All right. Xander's typing, how to become the requirement to be considered almost a nuclear physicist.
Apparently going to community college and almost joining the Navy.
Yeah. Well, I did pass the Navy nuclear power test.
What, you mean like the ASVAB? Because I think
the ASVAB and then
the ASVAB.
After the ASVAB.
Oh yeah, they have
ASVAB
you have the ASVAB and then they have
like the SATs of ASVAB.
Pretty much.
Okay, I like it.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. I know it's a very hard job. I'm sure they have lots of criteria that you have to hit to get there.
Oh yeah. I was terrified of that. That's why I didn't go there.
Martin Fink. Yeah, let's take the nuclear waste and make tritium sites out of it.
I like it.
Works
you can do that, right?
All right, guys. Well, I think my pizza's here.
Well, enjoy your pizza.
You got pizza? Damn it.
Dude, you can't even eat today. It's Ash Wednesday, man.
Ash Wednesday?
My Catholicism here.
Well, sucks for you Catholics.
Yeah. All right, guys. Follow Rich at Flying Rich everywhere. Flying Rich Firearms is his new channel with close to 3 subscribers now.
No, over 600. 619.
Yeah, and they're all bots. No, I'm just joking. They're not bots. I don't know. Maybe they are. Rich, are they
Boston
bots?
Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics.
They're watching
He's
you.
followed by the robots from Boston Dynamics. All right, guys. That's it for today. Kron is the leader in exile of Aussie. Tell everyone where they can find you.
I'm Kron on everything. YouTube, IG, Twitter. I don't do a lot of YouTube, but every now and then I'll throw something up there. But IG and Twitter, definitely where to find me.
All right, guys. I love you guys very much, and